Dear students, I, Mr. Vishal Shah, Assistant Professor, Krishna Institute of Pharmacy, Karad, once again welcome you all to this my YouTube channel. In this video, we are going to cover one of the point in the acid-base titration, that is related to the acid-base indicators. Now this video will be useful for the first year B Pharmacy students. If you are coming first time to this my YouTube channel, please watch my previous videos related to the pharmaceutical analysis as well as the pharmaceutical chemistry. And if you like the content of this my YouTube channel, please subscribe to my YouTube channel. Now in previous video we have covered about what is the meaning of buffer solution, then significance of Henderson-Hasselbalch equation, and what are the applications of the buffer solution. So let's begin our today's session on the acid-base indicators. Now before starting this particular session, just we will see what are the learning outcomes of this session. So after this session, students will be able to explain the meaning of the indicators, role of the indicators, then characteristics of the good indicator, then the theories related to the indicators. There are two theories. One is the Ostwald theory and other one is the resonance theory. Now in this video we are going to cover only Ostwald theory. In next video we will cover the resonance theory. So as I said, we are going to cover the Ostwald theory also. So students should be able to explain the Ostwald theory of the acid-base indicator. Now before starting this lecture, just I will make clear that theories related to the acid base is different and the theories that are related to the indicators is different. Don't get confused, because theories of acid base means what? Our Arrhenius theory, Lewis acid base theory, as well as the Lowry-Bronsted theory. And the theories for the indicators means it's the Ostwald theory and the resonance theory. Now before starting the theories related to the acid base indicators, just we will see what are the meaning of the acid base indicators. Now indicator means what? It is an auxiliary substance which we added to the titration, which helps us in detection of the either completion of the reaction or the completion of the titration or the equivalence point or the detection of the end point. This auxiliary substance is indicated or known as the indicator. So this is the substance which undergo some easily detectable changes at the equivalence point, and these are used as a indicators. Now they possesses different color in presence of the titrate and the titrant. This is very important because initially before starting our titration, our conical flask is consisting of titrate. As you know, titrate means what? A substance which is to be determined. Now here this indicator possesses a different color in presence of this titrate, and it possesses a different color when the excess amount of titrant is present at the end point. Titrant means a substance whose concentration is known. In acid-base titration, different organic substances like weak acids or weak base, they are generally used as indicators. Now they change their color within a certain pH range. Means as in acid-base titration, we are going to change the pH of that particular solution, and as the pH of that solution changes, it leads into the change in the color of that particular indicator. Now what are the different characteristics that a good indicator should possess? Now a color change must be easily detected, that is, it must be sensitive towards the pH range. So that is the first characteristic, that color change must be easily detected. Now second property that an indicator should possess is color change must be rapid and sharp. Otherwise what happens, if the color change is not rapid and sharp, then it leads into the false indication of that particular endpoint that might changes the volume of that titrant that is to be consumed. That's why change must be rapid and be sharp. Indicator molecule must not react with the substance being titrated. So there should not be any reaction between the substance that is to be titrated and the indicator. The indicator should have pKin, that is the dissociation constant of that indicator, that is within the 1 pH unit of the expected pH at the equivalence point of the titration. Means always there is a certain pH that is related to the equivalence point. In some cases, like the titration of strong acid and strong base, in that case at the equivalence point the pH is about 7. So the indicator that is to be used, it should have a dissociation constant in the range of the 1 pH unit. Means either it should have a 6 to 8. So that because the pH or the equivalence point is having the pH of 7. So these are the various characteristics of a good indicator. Now how we are going to carry out, or how we are going to choose an indicator for acid-base titration. For example, for titration of strong acid and strong base, where the indicator which is having a pKin between, that is the pKin, as I said, it is nothing but the dissociation constant, that is between the 4 and 10. Any indicator which is having a pKin between 4 to 10 should be used. For titration of weak acid, the pH at equivalence point is usually less than 7, and the indicators such as phenolphthalein or thymol blue with pKin less than 7 should be used. Greater than 7 should be used. For titration of weak base, where the pH at the equivalence point is less than 7. Here for titration of weak acid, pH is more than 7, and for titration of weak base, the pH at equivalence point is less than 7. So indicators such as methyl red, bromocresol blue with pKin less than 7 should be used. For basic compounds, that is the base, the reaction involves the strong base and the weak acid. For neutral indicators, if the reaction involves the strong acid and strong base, we are going to use the neutral indicators, and acidic indicators are used if the reaction involves the strong acid and a weak base. So this is how we are going to choose an indicator. Now next we are going to see the theories of indicators. There are, as I said, two theories have been proposed to explain the change of the color of acid-base indicators with change in the pH. First one is the Ostwald theory and other one is the resonance theory. First we are going to discuss the Ostwald theory. In 1894, Ostwald has proposed the theory of indicator on the basis of the ionization. Now this is important. Ostwald has proposed this theory depending upon the ionization of the indicator. Now according to this theory, the color change in the indicator is due to ionization of the acid or the base indicator. As we know, generally whatever the indicators that we are going to use, they are nothing but the weak acids or the weak base, and they are capable of undergoing the ionization. And if they are present in the unionized form, they possess a different color, and if they are ionized, they are having the different color. So as I said, the ionized form has the different color, while the unionized form is having the different color. Now the ionization of indicator is largely affected in acids and base, as it is either a weak acid or weak base. Because if a weak acid is there, it will not be ionized in presence of the strong acid, but in presence of a base it will be readily ionized. Similarly, for weak base indicators, it will not be ionized in the basic pH, but it will be readily ionized in the acidic pH. Now the ionization of acid indicator, or HIN, may be represented as HIN, which on ionization will be converted into the H plus ions and the ion minus ions. So HIN is known as the unionized form, while this H plus and ion minus are known as the ionized form. So here, for example, this HIN is as we consider the weak acid. So it will be having a different color when it is an unionized form, and this ion minus ions, they will be having a different color because they are the ionized form. For example, here they are possessing a color B, while here they will be possessing a color A. The ionized molecule, that is the HIN, has a one color, while the ionized ion, that is the ion minus ion, has another color. Now for this reaction, if we apply the law of mass action, we will get Kin is equal to concentration of H plus ion into concentration of ion minus ion divided by concentration of H ion, that is the undissociated form. By rearranging this equation, we will get the value of the H plus ion concentration, that is equal to Kin into H ion divided by ion minus ion, where Kin is known as the dissociation constant of the indicator. Taking logarithms on the both sides, we will get log minus H plus ion is equal to log Kin minus log H ion divided by ion. So here this log H plus ions is nothing but the pH, while log minus log Kin is nothing but the pK ion. By substituting these values in this equation, we will get pH is equal to pK ion plus log ion minus concentration divided by H ion. So here ion minus concentration is nothing but the ionized form of the indicator, while H ion is nothing but the unionized form of the indicator. So here substituting these values, final equation that we will get, pH is equal to pK ion plus log ionized form divided by unionized form. Thus, color change of an indicator is determined by the ratio of ionized form to the unionized form, and it is governed by the pH. We will take one example. Considering a phenolphthalein as an indicator, which is a weak acid, Ostwald theory can be illustrated as follows. Phenolphthalein, which can be represented as HPH, it ionizes in a solution to a small extent as HPS. When it will be ionized, it will be converted into the H plus ions and pH minus ions. H plus ion, HPH, that is the unionized form, is having a colorless color, while the pH, that is the ionized form, is having the pink color. So applying the law of mass action, we will get pH is equal to concentration of H plus ions into concentration of pH, that is the ionized form, divided by concentration of the unionized form. Thus, the undissociated molecule of phenolphthalein are colorless, while the pH ions are pink in color. In presence of an acid, the ionization of H plus is practically negligible, as the equilibrium shifts towards the left hand side due to the concentration of H plus ions, and the solution will remain colorless. On addition of alkali, hydrogen ions are removed by the hydroxyl ions in the form of the water molecules, and the equilibrium shifts towards the right hand side, and thus the concentration of ionized form, that is the pH minus ions, is more, and which gives a pink color to the solution. Now, what are the different features of the Ostwald ionic theory? An acid-base indicator is usually a weak organic acid, as I said, for example phenolphthalein, or it might be a weak organic base, that is the methyl orange. Its undissociated form gives a color which is different from its ions. Thus, a color changes due to the ionization. If the indicator is weak acid, the color of its anion will be deeper than that of the unionized form. This is very important. If indicator is weak acid, then the color of its anion will be deeper than that of the unionized form. In case it is a base, its cation is more deeper as compared to the anion. Although acid-base indicators are weak electrolytes, their dissociation increases on addition of strong acid or strong base. So these are the various salient features of that particular Ostwald theory. So in this video, we have covered the choice of acid-base indicator, characteristics of the good acid-base indicator, as well as the salient Ostwald theory and the salient features of the Ostwald theory. Now we have to go through this exercise where you have to go to this particular website www.menti.com, use this particular code, and you have to give the answer for this particular question. Thank you. So if you have queries related to the pharmaceutical analysis, you can contact me on my mail ID. And if you like the content of this my channel, please like my videos, share with your friends, and subscribe to my YouTube channel. Thank you very much.